Hello, fifth grade friends. This is Mr. McCarthy. Some of you may know me from my time at Concord, and others may know me as one of the virtual academy teachers this year. And I'm here to help get us rolling on Unit 2, which is straight up multiplication and division. We've got a number of big ideas kind of guiding us this unit. First of all, the thought that, or the goal that patterns can be used to help you multiply and divide numbers. Trying to get some of these, not shortcuts, but kind of patterns and familiar things in your head to help you kind of speed up that process a bit. Number expressions can be simplified using the order of operations. Basically, what that's telling us is that when you have a long number sentence with addition, subtraction, multiplying, dividing, there is a special order in which you need to follow those operations. And we'll work on that. And then finally, believe it or not, I know that minds will be blown here, but multiplication and division can be used to solve real-world problems. I'm going to take us through just a little bit of our introduction here. And then when we wrap up after this 5 to 10 minutes, you'll be able to zoom out and get your pretest done. That's it. All right, let's move on to the first slide. We're going to talk about whole number multiplication and division. For example, if you're in a math team, you can add your scores to see if you're winners. And if you have all different scores, 1521, 1378, 1459, you could totally add those up. I mean, believe it or not, you totally can. When you get that sum, that comes out to 4,358 points. I'm sure you can grasp that. Our lessons in this unit include using a calculator, multiplying by tens, hundreds, or thousands, multiplying by powers of 10, and I can just, shush for a moment, and you can pause and read all those by yourself. Beautiful. Let's continue. Now, what we really focus on in these introduction lessons is trying to bring back stuff that you should know already from 4th or 3rd grade. And we're going to talk about two things today. We're talking about something called expanded form, and we're going to talk about word form. Expanded form is exactly as it sounds. You're taking this number right here, 4,937,512, and you are expanding it to its parts, okay? In word form, it is simply words. 4,937,512. Okay, expanded form, word form. I think we've got that, all right? Now, you can use bar models to show the operations. You put this bar here with 23,431 with this bar of 7,465, put them together, that represents addition. With this bar, you have two here in which you see that the entire bar represents, is that my highlighter? 12,478. Sorry about that. That was supposed to be a little more beautiful. 12,478. This part over here is 6,039. So by subtracting, you can find the part that's missing. And finally, if this guy here is 376, well, then that's 376, 376, and so on and so forth. And then if you take that 376 and multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then you can find out what that is as well. All right. Again, I'm hoping a lot of these general concepts should be reviewed. Okay. This one here is, this top one is showing us a division type problem. And then you have the entire bar is worth 4,383. If that's the case, what does one bar equal? If there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bars. So then you have your dividing. And I don't always like how these are lined up, but it's basically saying the whole thing is worth 56, and it's made up a bunch of these 8s. But it's asking you how many 8s. Okay, or basically 56 divided by 8. This stuff should start to become familiar to us now that we're a few years into math and focus, but it's always good to have a little bit of review, right? Right. Rounding. Once again, rounding is hopefully review. In this case, for rounding to the nearest 1,000, you always look at the digit that's following the one you're rounding to. So for rounding to the nearest 1,000, oops, there's my pen. We look at the 100s place, okay? So when you have 6,347, anything when that hundred's placed, that following digit is a 0 to a 4. We either round down, or you'd say you keep the thousands placed the same. So then it's going to be 6,000 right there. When you have anything 5 or above in that following digit, so if you're rounding to the nearest thousand and your hundreds digit is 5, then you're rounding up, which means 6,575 rounded to the nearest thousand is 7,000. Okay. And finally, I love estimation. It's the best. It's a very, very highly useful math skill. If I want to find out 684 times 9, but I don't exactly need to know the exact amount, like I want to buy 9 Labradoodles because one's not enough, and every Labradoodle's like $684 because, you know, that's why. Before I ask my mom if I can buy those Labradoodles, I got to kind of give her an estimate. So instead of wasting time and doing all this math, I don't have time to do that. I want my Labradoodles. So I'm just going to estimate and do 700 times 9. And if I take that 7 times 9, it gives me that 63, and I keep the hundreds. And I know all I need is a simple $6,300 to get 9 Labradoodles. Small price to pay for something so amazing. All right. See, math always has real-world application. And then you can also estimate products using something called front-end estimation. Kind of the same idea. Is just taking 563 and not even, so that last one we used rounding and rounded to the nearest hundred. Here we're just taking the first digit and doing 500 times 7. I guess I didn't really clarify that. This is estimating by rounding, so I rounded to the nearest hundred, which is 700. And this one I'm not even rounding. I'm just like super lazy. I'm just not lazy, but super efficient in just keeping that first digit no matter what it rounds to. Okay. Estimating division and finding quotients is a little bit different. You could use, I think we call it a compatible number strategy. But basically, if we were doing 156 divided by 4, you're looking for numbers that are close to 156 that'll divide by 4. If you just did 150 divided by 4, it's not going to work out real nice. If you do 160 divided by 4, well, you know, 4 goes into 16 4 times, or 60 40 times. So you could do that, which is right here. And that's going to be a little bit closer than maybe doing the 120. So 156 divided by 4 using that compatible number strategy is about 40. Okay. A lot of times in the real world, you know, it's like we have these math questions. When am I ever going to use this? It's the estimation that you really use a lot of in the real world. So these are pretty important skills. Let's see, clear the screen. Kaboom. All right, take a second. Write these numbers in expanded and word form, and we'll check in a moment as I pause my screen. All right, here we go. So I'm sure you naturally ended up agreeing with me. So wonderful, wonderful job. Let's take a look at the next slide. Okay, fill in each missing number, pause and work. Hey, I should do the same thing, right? And finally, oopsie poops. I got a 7 right here. 7 times 14 was 98. There you go. You saw the magic of my pen working. Let's move on to the next slide. Pause me and solve. And when you hit resume, my answers will magically appear. Go. All right, both of these present division problems to us. 96 divided by 6 is going to give us 16. Yep, that's right. And 135 divided by 5 gives us 27. Let's continue to the next page. We're going to round these to the nearest 1,000, and then we will estimate each product by rounding. I'll demonstrate, I'm going to turn you loose, and then I will solve them, and you can take a look. Again, this is review. You guys should have a pretty good handle on this stuff. Go. Hey, look at that. I learned a trick, and I jumped to the other corner of the screen so I couldn't lock in your math. That was rather thoughtful of me. Anyway, there you go. Rounding to the nearest thousand up here, and then estimate products by rounding right there. If you are unsure about any of those, definitely ask your teacher and submit a question. But again, we should be able to work our way through this stuff. All right, let's do another one. Remember, front-end estimation is not rounding. It's just using that first digit and then estimating quotients by using related multiplication facts as using division facts that are close to help you do the estimating. I'm going to pause and you're going to do your best work. Go! All right, up top, I changed 142 to 100, 967 to 900, 374 to 300. Remember, I'm not rounding. I'm just keeping that first digit. And then just for kicks, I use 3 different division signs. You guys get used to seeing those, and they'll pop up on your test and such later in the year. Down here, I didn't do 200 divided by 3 because 200 and 3 aren't really compatible. Kind of look at these first 2 digits, and I know that 17 is close to 18, so that's how I got 180 divided by 3. And down here, 265 divided by 5. I went to 250. You also could have gone up to 300 divided by 5 to get 60. Either one of those would have been reasonable because we're rounding. We're estimating. We're not exactimating. And then finally, 532 divided by 6. You could have taken that to 600, or you could have done the 540 by 6. Either one of those is totally workable. All right, let's blast that clear. There we go. I learned my pen tools. Finally! Workbook pages, quick check chapter 2. I'll have to double check what that is, and hopefully your teacher clarifies it for you within Schoology. And then IXL, you can go in IXL and you can type in the code for the lesson you're looking for. The thing is each year IXL refreshes, and sometimes lessons have different numbers. So if we save those numbers in our presentations, they might be wrong. What you're looking for is something called add, subtract, multiply, and divide whole numbers. This is a link from me. Your teacher will also share this slideshow with you, so that should jump you right to that lesson as well. Otherwise, your teacher also is hopefully highlighting lessons for you so that you just jump right into IXL and see what to do. That's it. You very well might have a Chapter 2 pretest to complete in Schoology. Take care of that. Ask your teacher if you have any questions, and I look forward to sharing a lot more of Unit 2 with you. Have a lovely day, friends. Be well, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.